Okay, we're going to do steep turns. First thing we're going to do is make sure the plane is properly trimmed and set to the appropriate RPM, which is going to be 2300 RPM, and level flight. Next thing we want to do is we want to pick out a prominent point on the horizon, which is this mountain in front of us. Because this is a visual maneuver, so you should not be using the display to fly this. You should be using the sight picture out your window, so you need a visual point to roll in and out of. And we're going to start with a turn to the left. That's usually a little bit easier for the student. So you want to check once you got 2300 and 90 to 95 knots. Okay, you want to be as close to 6,000 as possible. All right, we got 91 knots. We're set 23 and some change, 6,000, and we're going to go left. Here we go. We're going to start the roll. And as we roll through 30, we're going to need to bring in some back pressure and also lead with a little rudder. Bring in the back pressure and find the sight picture. You may have to add a little bit of power as well. And that's because we're going to be pulling a little bit of G, so we are going to bleed some speed. So I'm increasing now to 2480. I'm watching my sight line on the horizon. I'm just looking where the horizon intersects the glare shield, and I'm trying to keep that exactly lined up. Coming through, and there's my point. I'm going to roll and coordinated with rudder, roll out, and we're back on our point. We can reduce the power again. So we stay within the 90 to 95 regime. We're at 6,000 feet. We're on our heading. We can now go right. We'll look right, and we'll turn right. Again, rudder and aileron coordination. As you come through 30, you're going to have to add some power. And just look at the horizon. Set your 45 with your primary flight display, and then look out the window and see where that horizon connects. And you can fly these just about perfect. Coming through there, we're looking and we're rolling. All right, let's do that again. We'll reduce the power. Okay, once you know that sight picture, memorize that sight picture because you're going to need it every time. It's going to be the same every time you fly the plane. All right, we're looking left and we're rolling left. A little bit of rudder with the aileron, set 45, add some power. Back pressure's coming in. A little bit of power, a little slow here. A little bit too much back pressure, releasing some of it, rolling out, coordinated. So about 10 degrees before your point, you want to start really focusing on when you're going to roll out, and then reduce the power. Okay, let's try one to the right. Right is clear. Here we go. 95, rolling in, adding some power, keeping that rudder coordinated. There's 45, I'm looking at the horizon now. Add my power, keep my airspeed, and just watching that horizon. A little too much, just reduce the back pressure and increase the bank. That'll dump some of that lift, and then right back to your point. Looking out the window, I'm looking at my point. There it is. Rolling out. Releasing the back pressure. Don't forget to release the back pressure and then reduce the power. All right, let's look at some common mistakes students make. Okay, we're going to go left. They start to roll left. They don't increase the back pressure here, and the nose starts to fall off the horizon, and we start to lose altitude. Then they overcorrect, and they pull some G's, and they balloon up to get back. That's going to reduce your airspeed. Now you're going to be jockeying the power a lot, where before you could just set it and forget it. Another problem is students are just flying it like this. They're not looking anywhere out the window. This is a visual maneuver. It clearly states that in the ACS, and they're just paying attention to the primary flight display.
There are several ways to correct for altitude deviations while flying a steep turn. If the aircraft begins to climb, release some back pressure on the yoke. Additionally, an increase in bank angle of up to 5 degrees will reduce the vertical component of lift. The combination of both a decrease in back pressure and increase in bank will stop the aircraft's climb. If the aircraft begins to descend, increase back pressure on the yoke. Simultaneously, reduce the bank angle by up to 5 degrees. This will restore some of the vertical component of lift and help arrest the descent. As stated earlier, the steep turn is a visual maneuver and should be accomplished using references external to the cockpit.